Hi and welcome. Today I have a piece from my mini ring art journal and let's get started. So I start with a piece of Bristol Smooth mixed media paper that I've cut on my Cricut with kind of a square but with a tab. And I'm taking some distress ink in the color Wild Honey and adding it to a text stamp and just stamping it onto the front of the Bristol Smooth paper. I give that a dry and then I'm spritzing on some water just to kind of mess it up a little bit. I don't want a nice clean text. I kind of want it to be a little fuzzy. I'm going to give it a dry. And then I'm going to lay down some picked raspberry, spritz some water on it, and smoosh into that. And I'm going to dry it. And then I'm going to take some of the Tim Holtz Ideology collage paper. This is Entomology. I think that's right. And I'm just going to take my water pen and just give me a line to pull apart. I don't like straight lines. They're just so easy to see when you're doing collage paper like this. So I want to always have a uneven, rough, not a cut, just kind of like a rip. Now I'm taking some of my oh my gosh, I'm blanking out on what it's called. Distress Micro Glaze. So the reason I'm putting Distress Micro Glaze down is because I'm going to be adding some collage medium to put the collage paper down, and if I don't, it will just kind of run the ink. So I put that down and then I kind of buff it dry, and then I'll be able to add my collage medium without really worrying about it running. So I could put the collage medium down first, and then the collage paper, and then another layer of collage medium. And that's way it's down nice and smooth. and it's protected top and bottom. And I use my catalyst to get a nice smooth finish. And I'm gonna try to get rid of all the frays. It's still a little wet. I definitely could have waited till it dried some, but it was working okay. But if it doesn't work okay, just wait and let it, or run the dryer over it so it dries some before you start cutting it away. I'm kind of an impatient person, so I tend not to wait for things to happen. So I'm really liking that so far. And I have a stamp I want to use. This is a ladybug from the Specimen. And I was thinking about I had stamped it and then put some of the pink and yellow on the stamp and was just going to just glue it on. But then I had another idea. So I thought, well, maybe I will emboss him on there. And that's what I do. And I think I might have liked it had I used black. But I decide I'm going to use crackling campfire, and I think that was a mistake. And the other thing too is, even though I dried, it seems like I never get it dry enough because the embossing powder wants to stick beyond the stamp. So I'm just kind of taking a soft paintbrush and trying to remove some of the embossing powder where I don't want it. And now I take my embossing gun and emboss it. And because embossing glaze is clear in a sense, it shows up in different colors, like some of it's on top of pink and some of it's on top of no pink. And so that's why it kind of looks a little blotchy. And I just not in love with the embossing. I do try adding a little bit of vintage photo to kind of make him stand out a little bit. And then I give some brown splatters. And I bring that stamp back in to look at that again, see if I want to just put that on top of the embossing. And that is what I do. But first, I'm going to give it a little shimmer. So I have some picked raspberry distress spritz, and I have spiced marmalade distress spritz right there. And so I'm going to add a little both of those in their appropriate areas. And you really got to make sure that all the stuff on the bottom is moving around. And I'm going to give him a dry. Once he's dry, I try as best I can to glue him directly on top of the embossing. You can still see a little of it, but that's okay. So now I'm going to distress the edges. It's vintage photo. And I do that around all the sides. I'm going to add a little bit of stamping. And these are from the Field Notes, Stampers Anonymous. And I'm using StazOn Ink in black. It dries very quickly. And one last one. I actually think this is from Eccentric. And it is for my mini ring art journal. So I'm going to punch a hole for a eyelet in the upper left corner. And that's the last of it. I have some final pictures coming up, but if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. I'd love to have you join me. And then if you like what you see, give me a thumbs up. That would be awesome. Other than that, just have a wonderful day.